And showtime! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the ChannelPro 5-Minute Roundup. Look at news, trends, and tips for the SMB channel in 5 minutes or thereabouts. My name is Rich Freeman. I am executive editor of the ChannelPro Network, also a host of this program. I am joined this week, as I am every week, by your other host, Eric Simpson, a business transformation and improvement advisor to MSPs and other IT providers. Eric, how goes it?
It goes great, Rich. For some reason, I'm feeling especially patriotic this week. I'm not sure why.
Well, I guess there's a lot of red, white, and blue on TV these days. Yeah, it's one of those weeks.
Yep. Looking forward to kicking 2021 off with a bang, and really excited when there's a lot of patriotism in the air. So feeling good.
Okay, well, let's dive into our top story this week. There might be some stuff to feel good about in here as well. This is not actually so much a news story. We're going to be talking about the cover story of Channel Pro's January issue. Every year in the January issue, in fact, we go out and we consult with a number of experts in various disciplines, and we ask them to make predictions for the year ahead. Normally, that is a relatively simple thing for people like this to do, experts to do. It really did take some courage this time out to make predictions for 2021, given that the world seems to change completely approximately every 48 hours. But we did find 7 people who were willing to look ahead and anticipate some things that might be happening in the industry. I'll touch a few, and then you can let me know what you think, Eric. Here, so in the security realm, Ian Thornton Trump, fantastic security expert, somebody I consult with in that area pretty regularly. He made the prediction. I've heard others make it as well, that a big story in 2021 will be cleaning up some of the security mess that was created in 2020. Back when work from home first went into place, priority number one was getting everybody online, and you just needed to do it as quickly as you could. And in the process, some companies did some things that they probably shouldn't have done. They implemented remote work in ways that aren't completely secure. 2021 should be the year that channel pros and their customers work together to rectify some of those issues, especially since most people, I think, anticipate that there is going to be continued remote work even after we, reach herd immunity against COVID-19, which we all hope will happen relatively soon. Along a similar line, what else happened around work from home in 2020? A lot of cloud adoption. And Lauren Nelson, a cloud expert from Forrester we consulted with, said that cloud security will be a big story in cloud in 2021. So you've got all of these new software as a service, infrastructure as a service resources in use now. And she doesn't see that slowing down, by the way. There is a lot more high-speed adoption of cloud coming in 2021. But people now are going to start to think about making sure that they're utilizing those services in a secure way. So another opportunity potentially for people to have a different kind of conversation, an additional conversation with their cloud customers. And finally, the last one of many insights from our experts here that I'll highlight came from Rob Enderle, longtime industry analyst, somebody I really enjoy speaking with when I get the chance. And I was talking with him about the hardware market. And, obviously there were a lot of sales of laptops in particular last year around that whole same work from home phenomenon, companies trying to equip their people with any equipment in some cases and better equipment in others. So there was this sort of unanticipated purchasing cycle last year. And now people are wondering, what does that portend for the hardware market in 2021? I have spoken to people from hardware vendors who are thinking this is going to be a pretty good year for hardware, just like last year, that there is still plenty of pent-up demand for better, more appropriate, more secure, high-speed, high-performance work-from-home hardware. And there are new products reaching market that are optimized for that scenario with better cameras and microphones and so on. Rob is pretty confident about the first 6 months of the year. He's a little worried about the second 6 months. Will the industry be able to sustain that momentum? And obviously the answer to that question has big implications for Dell, HP, Lenovo, et cetera. So we shall see. So like I said, there's storage predictions in this article, and BDR and digital signage and managed services, but a few highlights that I thought I would call out.
Yeah, I appreciated the insight of the experts that you engaged with, and you know, one thing that I think that I took away was everybody was pretty bullish, but then there's also that sense of, well, yeah, these are predictions, right? We don't know if this is a V-shaped recovery or will it become a W-shaped recovery, as we move into the second half of the year and things like that. One thing that I also read in another Forrester article, talked about MSP's confidence as well, right, into this year. And the article went on to say that MSPs forecasted 15% growth in 2020, which they also, when polled, forecasted the same growth in 2021. So that gives us a sense of the confidence of the MSPs themselves in terms of business growth, but then also to match that with kind of the bullish predictions of the experts from a hardware and software and kind of infrastructure perspective. It really seems like it's pretty good news at this point, right, Rich? So the other thing that I took away from the article was this prediction that 24% of the work from home user community, or that group, will end up being about 24% in 2021, which is very, very unique because we've never had that much, that many people working from home as a part of their business strategy, right? The business itself says, yes, we're going to see that. So I think a lot more opportunity. And I remember, consulting with MSPs as we were trying to get them to become a little bit more strategic and saying, well, do you really want to deliver, home user support and things like that? Well, guess what? I think it's coming full circle now. I think as part of the corporate network, rather than kind of this, like you said, kind of a knee-jerk response in 2020 to security and remote work and cloud and all this, now that it's actually becoming, the de facto, strategy for businesses. Hopefully that'll also open up greater opportunities for securing these home users in a much more, corporate manner, and allowing us to provide service much more predictably and efficiently to them.
Yeah, I think the 24% number you cite there, if I remember right, that is from Forrester as well.
Yeah.
And that's the percentage of end users who will be spending some of their time, their work time, at home. And what I remember about that is, prior to the pandemic, that number stood at 8%. So that
Right.
number has tripled in 12 months, and we all know precisely why that's the case. The other thing you said that I'll follow up on a little bit, and this is a sneak preview. The cover story for our February issue is our annual State of the Channel study, a research study survey we do every year where we collect a lot of information from our readers. And I would say the overall tone of this year's study is very similar to what you were saying there, where very bullish for the most part. People are feeling pretty good about the year, but you can also detect a certain kind of wariness out in the channel right now, because of all the continued uncertainty out there. So when we ask people, do you anticipate better conditions for the industry, for yourself? Over 50%, roughly 50%, were saying yes, and which is great. That's what you want to hear. But very conservative, very cautious about hiring, for example. So this will be something I'm sure we wind up discussing on a future episode. But yeah, I think you were exactly right about the tone of the experts in this article, and maybe even more broadly than that, is everybody is feeling pretty upbeat, feeling like this should be, it'll definitely be a better year than the last year. It should be a good year, but everybody has been surprised in an unpleasant way before, and is being a little cautious, a little careful, not getting too far out in front of themselves.
Yeah, I think the you know the antivirus, the vaccine, the vaccine coming out, kind of gives everybody hope, right? Okay, so there is light at the end of the tunnel. We just got to accelerate that. And again, that uncertainty is, well, how quickly will we get to that herd immunity that you talked about? How quickly because I think that's a milestone that I think from a business perspective, everyone is looking forward to.
Definitely. Well, we have just we've been looking forward exclusively to this point in the program, but time for your tip of the week, and it concerns looking back one last time to 2020.
Yes, it certainly does, Rich. And in order to succeed in 2021, I my tip of the week is to analyze and review, look back in order to forecast growth and improvement looking forward. So let's look back at 2020 and how did we perform, right? Beyond the reactive firefighting that had to happen because of the pandemic immediately, but I'm encouraging channel pros to look back and analyze. It's one thing that I love doing at the end of each year, Rich, for my own business, is to kind of look back and see how we did, right? Look at where our revenues came from, look at where our profitability came from, look at where we might have made a misstep or two and what we would do differently in 2021. So taking what we've learned and being objective about it, right? We can't manage what we can't measure. So first of all, identify what the KPIs need to be that you'll be measuring in your financial performance and your marketing performance and your sales performance and your service delivery performance, and figure out how we did. And for those of us that have been tracking KPIs year over year, how are we trending, right? And what should we do differently in 2021? Because 2021 brings with us a unique set of different challenges, i.e., more remote work and higher, requirements for security and cloud and things migrating and workloads and all that. And how will we behave differently, or how will we change our strategy to overcome any bottlenecks to growth and take advantage of these opportunities? So again, kind of just strategically mapping our performance and then forecasting and making adjustments to our strategic plan for 2021, rather than just rinsing and repeating, every year. We're just, here's what we do marketing, here's what we do. So the landscape is changing. And so how are we poising, or, are we skating to where the puck is going to be, or are we skating to where the puck, is, like we've done maybe in the past? So again, just put on a strategic analysis hat and kind of take what we did and then kind of crystal ball it a little bit and say, okay, how will we adjust in order to exceed that performance and maybe overcome some bottlenecks, or make less mistakes in the future?
And I assume part of the exercise here, maybe the end of the exercise, is to set numeric targets for the year ahead. I would assume if you're looking back on last year and really assessing your performance, the easiest way to do that would be to look at the whatever number it is, the 10 metrics, the 5 metrics, the numeric goals that you set for your business, and see how you did against those, because that's really what's going to point out where your performance was strong and where it was weak. And then you can start diving into that. And to your point, kind of figuring out, well, we knocked it out of the park here. What were we doing right? We came up short there. What were we doing wrong? How do we fix things going forward so that that doesn't happen again?
You're absolutely right, Richard. Thanks for, adding another, layer of clarity to this. I mean, you can't say, what's our goal for 2021 in sales? Oh, we just want to, grow sales over last year. That doesn't mean a thing, right? You've got to get down to the numbers and say, well, we want to grow sales 15%. That's measurable, right? So again, having these KPIs and metrics and these goals, again, we go back to that SMART goal, right? Specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time bound. So in 2021, it's time bound. We want to grow sales by 15%, right? Is it realistic? Is it achievable, right? And it's something that we can measure. So are we going to increase our service desk efficiency by X percent? Are we going to increase profitability by X percent? Are we going to generate X percent of new leads, right? So again, you're right, Rich. It has to be measurable. It can't be kind of loosey-goosey, like, well, we just got to do better this year. Rah, rah, team, right? How do we know whether we achieve that success or not? It's very subjective.
All right. Well, that leaves us with time for just one more story here, folks. And, you might or might not remember last week on the 5-minute roundup, we were talking about dried yellow mealworm, which the European Union had just approved for human consumption. And I had suggested if you're trying to cut back on your snacking a little bit, one way to do that might be to fill the snack cupboard exclusively with dried yellow mealworm. Suddenly, snack time might not be so appealing to you. Well, if you're trying, New Year's resolution, you're trying to maybe cut back on your drinking a little bit. One possibility might be to buy yourself a bottle of this new gin from South Africa. I'm probably going to mispronounce the name. Indlovu, Indlovu. And what is unique about this particular variety of gin is that it is made with real elephant dung. So basically, according to the manufacturer, it is infused with botanicals sourced from elephant dung. Because, elephants, they eat all sorts of botanicals, and they kind of mix and combine that for you. It really simplifies the entire gin making process to have the elephant do half the work for you. I've actually gone to this company's website, and they explain to you how they, cleanse and re-cleanse the dung. But dung infused gin. Maybe if you want to drink a little bit less, and that's your one option, this could help.
Man, what a marketing team to be able to pitch that. I'm sure they're filtering it and all that, but just on the face of it, just overcoming the premise of it is probably the biggest challenge there. So they might want to relook at their 2021 marketing strategy for that one.
Yeah, no, hats off for setting the bar very, very high. Good luck to them. Well, folks, that is all the time we've got this week on the 5-Minute Roundup. Thank you so much for joining us. If you like the show, you want to take a look at some episodes you missed, you want to know about the new episodes when they become available, best thing to do is go to the ChannelPro Network channel on YouTube and become a subscriber. If you remember to click that little bell icon you're going to see there, you'll get notified when the new episodes go up. You want to see the cover story from our January issue about 2021 predictions and all sorts of other great stuff about news happening in the industry, business growth advice, go to channelpronetwork.com. Every day, we have got great new content for you there every day. To learn more about Erick and the work that he does with his clients, go to ericksimpson.com, ERICK Simpson.com. Once again, thank you so much, folks, for joining us. We will be back again next week with another episode of the show. Until then, please enjoy the rest of your week. Erick and I are enjoying the rest of your week already.